Now, back to your friends, Don and Gino.
You might want to get a pen and paper for this one because we're going to go into a really neat topic that a lot of us don't know enough about, and that's why we brought Chris Ingram with Infinity Wealth Management and Pam Ingram with RE/MAX. Yes, they do know each other, and they're two of the top professionals in the Valley and two of our top expert contributors. We bring them on regularly for a reason. Very experienced, very accountable, and just good people that you want to know and should learn from. And we have them here today to teach us about the potential of purchasing property, basically real estate, using your IRA. A lot of you out there are going, this thing just sits there. It's not that exciting. I know it gives me a tax savings every year, basically a tax write-off every year by investing in it. But maybe there's opportunities to leverage, Gino likes that word, leverage your IRA to purchase real estate. So we have Chris Ingram on the financial side and Pam on the real estate side to kind of go in some of the details regarding purchasing an IRA. And I'm looking forward to learning more about this. If you want to watch live and watch these two go back and forth, side to side, go to donandgino.com, DONANDGINO.com. Click on the listen and chat live. You can actually chat and ask some questions going, can I do this? Should I do this? Join us in the vault.
And so I'm going to go real quick, and we'll go ahead and jump into this. But just know this is like a really advanced investment strategy. Not a lot of people utilize this tool, and that's what we're trying to bring to you here on our show, on the Don and Gino Real Estate Finance Show. It's an advanced strategy, something you're probably just not going to pick up by reading the newspaper this weekend.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have people come to me from time to time and say, can I purchase real estate with my IRA? They've heard about it somewhere. And like you're saying, it's complicated. You have to hire a very specific company to monitor the transaction.
Basically a middleman.
Yeah, you got it. And the other thing is you have to think it through. Not everybody is in a position to purchase real estate in their IRA. And one of the things we were discussing at the break is, and the reason this is difficult is every single penny that you spend on that piece of property has to come from your IRA. So Gino referred to a screw. I mean, if you purchase a screw that's going to go in the wall in that piece of property, the money to buy that screw has to come from your IRA. You can't commingle funds. The minute a penny from your pocket and not from your IRA goes into that house, it becomes a taxable event, and there's penalties and all these bad things can happen. So what it does is it somewhat restricts the size of an IRA that you need to have in order to do something like this. Now, we've talked about leverage a little bit, you mentioned. So there's ways to leverage the purchasing, and I'll let you go into that in more detail, of the property with the money that's in your IRA. But there needs to be enough money, additional funds in your IRA to cover things like home maintenance, vacancies if the renters move out, and so on and so forth. Property taxes, insurance, you got it. So it needs to be a sizable IRA to get the job done. There's also fees to that middleman company that have to be paid. So there's a lot of things that need to come out of the IRA to make it happen. But if you're sitting on a $2 million IRA and you're looking for a way to add hard assets to your portfolio,
call Don Getling, and I'll be glad to be one of those.
Assets. we can walk you through it. I mean, if you have enough money to get the job done and you've penciled it out and you've calculated all the possibilities, it can be done.
Well, keep in mind, this has to be an investment property. It cannot be your personal residence. So if you know you're going to retire in Utah 10 years from now and you want to buy a piece of property in Utah at a reasonable price and you have the money in your IRA, you could buy it. Now, you have to have a middleman also handle the month-to-month finances, the month-to-month income, and any money you make off of that property has to go back into your IRA. You cannot keep it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the key there is that, and the easiest way that I've been able to do this, guys, and you're listening to Chris Ingram with Infinity Wealth Management, Pam Ingram, we didn't mention the whole time.
Gino doesn't do this reset.
Well, I just got a little hand signal that threw me off because I was thinking about something else.
Just reminding you who we're speaking with.
We didn't mention their mother and son. We just mentioned they know each other.
Yeah.
Yes. We do know each other.
Yeah.
She gave birth to me. Her mother.
Gino doesn't recognize humor that often.
Okay.
At least mine.
not yours. I'm numb to it. So at any rate, one of the things that was really, really critical is that if you're going to utilize it as an investment property, you're going to utilize it as some sort of leverage. You can't touch the money. The easiest way to think of it for me is as a corporation. Think of it as an independent corporation that has to manage a property, that has to have the ins and the outs, and everything needs to stay individual. And for the same reasons, just like a corporation, you can't commingle the funds with a corporation with your personal funds, otherwise you pierce the corporate veil. So I think it's something that people are more familiar with as a corporation, and it acts a lot like an independent company that you own.
That's good stuff. And Pam, thanks for clarifying. Again, Pam Ingram with Remax, clarifying that it's imperative that you utilize this to purchase an investment property, because a lot of you out there going, whoo, I'll just use my IRA and go purchase my personal property. But you also mentioned that a parent can possibly use it, though.
Well, if you, like Chris and I were talking about, if you have a Roth, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. If you have a Roth IRA, you can take $10,000 out of your Roth IRA to purchase a home for yourself or for a child, and you will be taxed on the money, but you won't have penalties, correct?
You actually won't. In a Roth IRA, the rule actually sets that if the money's been in there for a certain time period, typically about 5 years from the day that you opened the IRA, and the funds don't have to be there, but your first dollar went into the IRA at least 5 years ago. The rule says that if you're purchasing a home for the first time, that you can actually pull money out of your Roth IRA to purchase that home, and you avoid the taxes and penalties, because the Roth IRA is not taxable when the money comes back out. It's your contributions went in after tax, so they come back out after tax. So you do have a loophole to the Roth IRA that, let's say you spent 15 years putting money in there since the day you got your first job, and then all of a sudden you get married and you want to buy your first home. Your Roth IRA is somewhere that you can look to pull money out and find a down payment.
See, you learn something every day on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Thank you, Chris, for that. That's Chris Ingram with Infinity Wealth Management, one of our top expert contributors, again, giving us expert advice, and I did not know that. That's why we love having you guys on the show, because I learn something every day. So this looks like a good opportunity. Do you suggest it? I mean, I love, Chris, how you clarified that you have to look at your overall scenario, and that's what you're really good at, Chris. I mean, that's why you need to speak with a professional, because you think, I'll just put my money here, I'll put my money there, but there's so many parameters involved with making smart investments and protecting those investments. And a lot of you out there might be going, cool, I have $50,000 in my IRA, I'm going to use it because I don't like it just sitting there. But you brought up a lot of great points that maybe they wouldn't have thought of, or if they didn't deal with a professional that can give them sound advice, could jeopardize their IRA.
Right.
And create a taxable event that cost them a lot more money than they were hoping to make by purchasing a property using their IRA, correct?
Right. Yeah, I'm a numbers guy, obviously.
Yay, we love numbers, guys.
2 + 2 always equals 4. It was always easy for me since I was a little kid. It just made sense to me. Much more difficult to tell you what some author was saying about a book. It's
you can back that up, Pam?
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely.
So the thing is when I look at a scenario like that, I like to crunch the numbers. I like to show projections, predictions. There's a lot of variables that you're not going to be able to predict all of them, but you try and put some worst case scenario into it. And like I said, with the vacancies, if you start crunching out the numbers, you have to put something in there showing a potential for vacancies, whether it's an average rate that you're going to add to each year of ownership of that investment property. But you have to put something in there showing, if this happens, what is the outcome? And if the outcome is all of a sudden that you run out of money and you got to start putting your own money into the property, then it's probably not a great investment for you. So looking at it from all angles, trying to see as many of the variables as you can, and make sure that you make an educated decision before you move forward.
Ooh, educated decisions, we like those.
Yeah, and the key there was really that you have to run a test on the scenario to see if it's going to work out. And based on everything we've discussed, the number one pitfall is to over leverage the IRA to purchase a home and not have enough reserves to debt service everything that could come with it. That's the number one mistake with this strategy that could possibly happen. So you need a professional to run this test for you, to run the scenario and maybe be a little bit conservative when you're doing something like this, wouldn't you say?
Very conservative. And that's the most important thing is don't rush into it. Don't get excited because you went to a seminar and they said, hey, you can buy real estate in your IRA, and you get all excited and you rush to the nearest mortgage broker and start taking out a loan. You got to think it through and be conservative.
You can be a millionaire.
Yeah,
Just
right.
follow me.
You got
30
it.
Call
minutes.
now, 1-800.
Yeah.
You'll get rich.
If you saw this strategy at 3 o'clock in the morning on your local cable channel, don't call that number, please.
Right.
And there's a reason they're picking on you in the middle of the night, figuring, hey, you're up that late because you're in between jobs.
And stressed out, yeah.
Exactly. Now the stressed out, I can handle. I get that. But great information, and thank you for giving us sound advice about an investment strategy that most of us don't really know enough about, and therefore either dive into not prepared or don't even know we have that opportunity. And I love the fact that we can utilize the IRA possibly to take advantage of what I still feel is a great opportunity in the real estate market. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So when we come back, we're going to talk more about this volatility in the stock market with Mr. Chris Ingram, because we've been talking about this for quite some time. It is come to fruition as we expected, but what's nice is Chris has got some great advice for you to make you sleep at night so you don't hear those infomercials in the middle of the night. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, we will be right back.